Welcome to Student Learning Assessments, a guide for the teacher. The purpose of this video is to guide you through the process of setting up for your student learning assessments. We will start by creating a teacher login. The teacher login has two purposes. You need it to administer the pilot, and you need it to access the individual student and class reports. Creating your teacher login is a 4-step process. Step number 1 is to create an Alberta education account. If you already have extranet access, you can go ahead and skip these steps. Start by going to the extranet homepage. It's https, so please note there's an S there, //phoenix.edc.gov.ab.ca. If this screen doesn't come up, make sure that you have not mistyped anything. You will click on Sign In and then click on Sign Up. It will ask you for your email address. Type it in here and then type it in here again and click Next. It will tell you that an email confirmation link was sent to your address. You need to go into your email, open up the email they sent you, and click the confirmation link. The email will be from no-reply@gov.ab.ca, and the subject line will be your Alberta Education Account sign-up request. If you don't see this, make sure to check your spam folder. When you follow the link, it will then ask you to type in a password, as well as a screen name. Make sure that your password has at least 8 characters, that it has at least one upper and lowercase letter and one non-letter. So you'll type in your password here and then here as well. Don't forget to put in a screen name and then go ahead and click Finish. The next step is to request access to the student learning assessments as well as fill out your extranet profile. If you already had extranet access before, you still need to complete these steps to obtain the student learning assessment access. First thing that you'll do is go ahead and go to that phoenix.edc.gov.ab.ca website again. Make sure you've got the S in there and click on Sign In if you're not already signed in. Type in your email address and your password and click Sign In. Once you are logged in, you need to complete the profile request form. It's kind of hard to see. It's down at the bottom under Have You Recently Changed Organizations? You'll see Complete the Profile Request Form. Go ahead and click on that. You need to check mark I work for a K-12 school and then Next. Provide the requested information, so fill out all of your first name, last name, job title, and so on. And then make sure to fill in who your principal is, because this is who it will be sent to in order to approve access to the student learning assessments. And then it's very important at the bottom to check mark student learning assessments. Then go ahead and click Next. Review the information that you typed in, make sure it's all right, and then hit Submit Request. An approval request email will be sent to your principal, and now your principal needs to take the next steps. So it won't hurt to talk to your principal and let them know that you filled this out and that you would appreciate them approving you as soon as possible. Now the next step is for the principal. The principal, when you've hit Submit Request, will receive an email that says, Dear Principal, you need to approve this request. All they have to do is click on that link. Your name will show here, first name, last name, phone number, job title, and that you're asking to be approved for student learning assessments. The principal clicks the link. They need to log in with their email and their password. They will see your profile information here again. Click on Student Learning Assessments, and then they just hit Approve Request. Once your principal has approved you, you're ready to go. Now that you have teacher access, you'll be able to administer the pilot. There are 4 steps in order to administer it. Starting Friday, September 26th, you'll be able to create your class list, add your students. You'll be able to add the assessments that your students will be completing. You'll be able to administer the digital assessment starting Monday, September 29th, and you'll be able to administer the performance task starting Monday, September 29th. Before students can access it, you must start the assessment first, and they must have access to their Alberta student number so that they can enter it and then select their assessment. So the next step in the process, and this begins September 26th, is to go to the teacher dashboard, and this is the address here, and log in. You will create a new list from the teacher dashboard. So you will see this screen here, and just click on Create New List. Type in a class name, and this, if you only have one class, can just be your name. And then you will see all of the grade 3 students that you have access to. So this could be all of the grade 3 students in your school. Check mark all of the students who are in your class. If you have students who just arrived in your school, so they're not in your list yet, you can go ahead and find students not in list. Go ahead and click on that. The easiest way to find a student is to type in their Alberta student number. Once you hit find, they will show up down here. And if that is the correct student, go ahead and click add and then save. And now they'll be added to your list. When you're ready, just click Save and Continue. The next step is to add the assessments that your students will be completing. So you need to click on Register for Assessments from the teacher dashboard. All of the assessments that apply to you will show up here. So it might say English Literacy 3, English Numeracy 3, French Immersion, and so on. And then go ahead and check mark the class list that you will be using and click Save. Assessments are then added for the selected class list. So you will see here there is a Part 1 Digital Assessment, Part 2 Performance Task listed under English Literacy 3. Now when you are ready to administer the digital assessment, you will need to come back here and click on Part 1 Digital Assessment. It says Ready to Start. If at any point a student will no longer be writing this assessment, you can change Not Started to remove student from assessment. Even if it says In Progress, you can still remove student from assessment. The only time you cannot remove a student from assessment is once you've submitted all of the results. When you're ready to begin the assessment, just click Start Assessment. Once all students have finished, the teacher will click on Submit Part 1 in order to submit the completed assessment. You can see the assessment to view the assessment taken by the students, and you can also view the results to view the individual student preliminary results. When you are ready to administer the performance task, click Performance Task. You can review and print the teacher and student resources. You can click Show Presentation to present the assessments to the class. You just click the Next button in order to go through the presentation. When the students have completed the performance task, you can click Input Assessment in order to mark the assessment for each student. Click on the appropriate descriptors and add comments where applicable. When all student assessments have been marked, click on the Submit Part 2 button. When students are ready to complete the digital assessment, they will need to select their language. They will need to input their Alberta student number. A very popular option is to print that student number on a large tent card so students have it in front of them. Once they fill in their Alberta student number and click Go, it will say I am and then list their name. Students are required to checkmark that to agree that that is the right person. If it doesn't say their name, they typed in their Alberta student number incorrectly. It will then list the assessments that they have options to, and they'll pick the one and click Go. They select the assessment section that they are working on. Some important dates to remember. On September 10th, you can begin the process for obtaining your extranet account. On September 26th, you can begin entering your class list as well as download your performance assessments. These student learning assessments begin on September 29th and end on October 10th. Teachers must mark and submit the results for the performance assessments by October 10th.